Hey everyone, welcome back to the Native English Podcast, the only place where English actually feels human, native, and most importantly, real. I am so happy you decided to hit play today.
Hello, everyone. It is really good to have you back with us. Truly. Let me check in with our audience. How are you feeling right now, guys? Are you relaxed? Are you ready to dive into some language magic?
Before we start the heavy lifting of learning, let me ask you something simple. How was your day? No, really, think about it for a second.
That's a great question, Sarah, because, dear listeners, learning English isn't just about memorizing cold, hard grammar rules. It's about your day, your mood, and your life. If you can't talk about your life, what's the point of the language, right?
Exactly. Maybe you had a busy day, maybe a tired day, or maybe a lovely quiet one with a cup of tea or a hot coffee.
For me, it was one of those days where you plan a million things and only finish about half of them. You know that feeling when the to-do list is staring at you and you just can't?
That sounds very human and very familiar, John. We've all been there.
It really is. And that's why today's topic is so important, because we talk about our plans and our failures to complete those plans all the time.
We're talking about decisions, future thoughts, and those big questions like, what will I do? Or what am I going to do?
Many learners ask us this specific question again and again. It seems to be the mountain everyone wants to climb, but no one knows where the path starts.
Yes, what is the actual real-world difference between will and going to?
If this question is living in your mind, believe me, you are not alone. Most English learners feel confused right here. It's like a foggy road.
They know both words are about the future, but they just don't know when to use which one.
And the sad part is, sometimes they just stop speaking altogether because they're so afraid of choosing the wrong one in front of people.
So let us say this clearly right now. Making mistakes here is completely 100% normal.
Very normal. Even native speakers don't walk around thinking about grammar textbooks all the time.
They feel the situation. They go with their gut. And today, we are going to help you feel that situation too.
But before we slowly move into the lesson, we have a small request for our lovely community.
If you enjoy learning English in this calm, friendly way, if this podcast helps you feel even a tiny bit more confident, please like this episode and subscribe to Native English Stories.
It really supports us and helps us continue making these real-life English podcasts for you. It's like a virtual high five.
All right, now let's begin slowly. John, let me ask you something simple.
Okay, I'm ready. Bring it on.
Right now, do you know what you'll eat for dinner?
Good question. See, I think yes. I'm going to eat pasta tonight.
Planning already? Wow.
Yes, I actually bought all the ingredients at the store this morning. I've got the garlic, the tomatoes, the fresh basil. It's all ready.
Interesting. Listen carefully to that sentence, listeners. I'm going to eat pasta tonight.
That sounds very natural because the plan already exists. It's a done deal in my brain.
Exactly. Now, let me change the situation. John, imagine you didn't plan anything. You're just sitting here talking to me on the sofa.
All right, I'm imagining it. My fridge is empty and I'm clueless.
And suddenly, you realize you're hungry and you say, I think I'll eat something light tonight.
Perfect. Did you notice the difference there?
Yes, one was a plan and one was decided right in the moment. That is the heart of today's topic.
Not rules first, feeling first. So let's make it very clear for everyone.
We use going to when a plan already exists. This means a decision was made before you started speaking.
It's something you already thought about. For example, I'm going to start exercising next week.
That means the idea is already living in your mind. Maybe you even bought new running shoes or watched some YouTube videos about home workouts.
Exactly. Now compare that with will. We use will for instant decisions made at the exact moment of speaking.
Like when the phone rings and you say, I'll answer it. You didn't plan for the phone to ring. You didn't wake up thinking, I will answer the phone at 10 a.m. It just happened.
Let's take another example. You're sitting at home and your friend, maybe Peter, says, I'm thirsty.
And you reply, I'll get you some water. That's not a plan you made yesterday.
No, that's a spontaneous decision. So here, will feels exactly right.
Now, let's talk about promises. Those are very important in any language.
When we promise something, we usually use will, like, I'll help you tomorrow, or I won't forget.
Promises live in will. Now, what about predictions?
Good point. When we predict something based on just a personal opinion, we often use will.
For example, I think it will rain today. But if you look up and see huge, dark, scary clouds, then you say it's going to rain.
Because you see the evidence. So again, feeling, situation, and context, not just memorizing grammar tables until your head hurts.
That's why we say English is not about pressure. It's about clarity and small practice every single day.
Now that we understand the basic feeling of the two, let's talk about real life, because that's where learners usually get confused.
Yes, especially when they start thinking too much. They pause, they translate in their head, and suddenly the conversation feels heavy and awkward.
Exactly. English should not feel heavy. It should feel like talking about your day and your thoughts.
Imagine a very normal situation. You're at home in the evening, sitting on your sofa, scrolling on your phone, and suddenly you remember, oh no, tomorrow is Monday.
Ugh, that feeling alone changes everything. Now, in that moment, you say, I'm going to wake up early tomorrow.
Because you already know it. You've accepted your fate. Your mind is prepared for that plan.
That's going to. A future plan already living in your head. Now, imagine a slightly different moment.
Your phone rings and it's your friend, Lucy. Lucy says, hey, can you help me move some boxes tomorrow morning?
And without planning, without overthinking, you reply, okay, I'll help you. That answer came from the moment.
And that's why will sounds natural there. This is where many learners struggle because both sentences talk about the future, but the feeling behind them is different.
Let's talk about another common situation, work. Work conversations confuse people a lot.
Imagine your manager, Mr. Thompson, asks you in the morning, what are you doing this afternoon?
If you already know your schedule, you say, I'm going to attend a meeting at 3 p.m.
Because it's planned, it's written down in your calendar, it's decided. But imagine something changes, the meeting gets canceled.
Your manager looks at you and says, okay, what will you do now?
And you answer, I think I'll finish my report. See the difference? One was fixed, the other was decided in the moment.
And this happens every day in offices, homes, and shops. Let's talk about offers, another big area where people get stuck.
Imagine your friend looks tired. You notice it, you didn't plan it, you just feel it and say, I'll make you some tea.
That sentence feels warm because will is very natural for offers. It sounds caring and helpful.
Now let's flip it. You already planned something. You invited your friend Mark over earlier. You bought snacks. You prepared everything.
Then you say, I'm going to make tea for you. Both are correct, but the situation changes the choice.
That's why memorizing rules alone never works. Learners need to see the situation and feel the moment.
Now, let's talk about mistakes, because mistakes are a beautiful part of learning. Many learners fear them way too much.
Some think if I choose the wrong one, people will judge me. But that's not real life.
In real life, people just want to understand your meaning. They don't stop the conversation to correct your grammar with a red pen.
They focus on communication. So if you say, I will go to the gym tomorrow, when you actually planned it earlier, it's not wrong in communication.
It may not be perfect grammar style, but it is 100% understandable. Confidence matters more than perfection every time.
Exactly. Now let's look at predictions again. These depend on evidence or opinion.
Imagine you look outside. The sky is dark, clouds are heavy, you feel rain in the air. You say, it's going to rain, because you see it.
But imagine a different moment. No clouds, no signs. You're just chatting. You say, I think it will rain later. That's your opinion.
So again, feeling, situation, and context. Let's bring this closer to your daily life.
Imagine you are learning English seriously. You say to yourself, I'm going to practice English every day. That's your plan.
But one day you feel lazy or tired. You say, okay, I'll practice for just 5 minutes.
That decision happened in the moment. Both sentences are honest, both are real, and both use the future differently.
This is how English lives in real life. Now let's look at the mistakes learners make again and again with these two.
Understanding the idea is one thing, but using it while speaking is a completely different story.
Many learners freeze mid-sentence. They stop, they think, and the rhythm of the conversation is gone. The first common mistake is using will for everything.
I hear this a lot. I will go to the market tomorrow. I will meet my friend later.
Technically, people understand you, yes, but it doesn't sound natural because most of these cases, the plan already exists.
Going to fits better there. I'm going to meet my friend this evening sounds relaxed and natural, like real life.
The problem is learners think will sounds more advanced or stronger English.
Native speakers don't think like that. They think in situations. The second mistake is using going to for sudden decisions.
Imagine someone drops their phone. You see it fall and say, I'm going to help you.
It sounds a bit strange because the decision should be instant. I'll help you is quick, human, and natural.
Emotions change grammar too. Imagine you're angry after an argument. You say, I'll never talk to him again.
That comes from emotion, not a plan. But when you're calm later, you might say, I'm going to change my job.
That sounds thoughtful and prepared. Tone and context matter so much.
The biggest mistake is overthinking while you are actually talking. Real conversations don't wait for you to find the rule in your brain.
Here's a simple tip for our listeners. If the plan already lives in your head, use going to. If the decision is born in the moment, use will.
Don't search for perfection, search for connection.
Let's practice with a story. Sunday evening, you look at your calendar. I'm going to wake up early tomorrow.
Suddenly, your phone rings. Your friend says, I need help right now. You reply, okay, I'll come. 2 futures, 2 feelings, 1 conversation.
That's real English. Confidence comes from speaking and making those small mistakes.
If you say the wrong one, don't stop. Don't apologize. Keep going. Fluency is movement.
Every night, ask yourself, what am I already planning for tomorrow? Use going to. What might happen suddenly? Use will.
Say them out loud, especially if you're alone. Your brain needs practice, not pressure.
Remember, plans equals going to, instant decisions equals will, evidence equals going to, promises and emotions equals will.
If this podcast helped you feel even a tiny bit more confident, please support us. Subscribe to our channel, like this episode, and share it with someone who is learning English just like you.
We are not here to teach perfect English. We're here to help you use English with confidence and clarity in real conversations. Keep speaking.
Until next time, keep practicing, keep listening, and keep speaking. Bye-bye, everyone.